Hello everyone, my name is Zachary Van Zant and this is International News. I know you've probably seen the memes addressing the conflict in Iran, but if you haven't, here's the basic history. On December 31st of last year, a United States embassy in Iran was attacked. On January 3rd, Donald Trump responded to this by ordering an airstrike at an airport outside of Baghdad. The target was a convoy that contained a high-ranking general named Qasem Soleimani. This event has risen the tensions between the U.S. and Iran to their highest point since 1980, when the hostage crisis occurred. The hostage crisis was the cause of the severing of diplomatic relationships between the U.S. and Iran. During this event, Iran held 52 American diplomats hostage for 444 days. Jimmy Carter cut off all diplomatic connections to Iran, leaving us in a standstill. The tensions between the U.S. and Iran have risen to that level once again, and the entire world is waiting to see what happens. In regards to a military draft, there might not be any need for one. Not only is there not actually a World War III occurring, the U.S. military has nearly 8 times the amount of Marines that it did in 1941. Iran is not the only source of our news today. In Australia, a great forest fire has been ravaging the land. Thousands of houses and 12 million acres of land have been consumed across Australia. The amount of animal lives has recently topped 1 billion, while there are only 25 humans confirmed dead. Even Shane Fitzsimmons, the commissioner for the New South Wales Rural Fire Service, called the fire dangerous and dynamic. He said the situation was not under control. Hopefully, Australia can stop the wildfire and eventually recover from it down the line. As we wait to see the results of this horrible catastrophe and standstill between the U.S. and Iran, don't take for granted the safety that we have at home. I'm Zach Van Zant. This is Guerrilla Wolves News. On January 6th, a 5.8 magnitude earthquake struck the residents of Puerto Rico at 6:32 a.m. Although it is just a 6-mile-deep earthquake, it is the strongest flurry of earthquakes to hit the U.S. territory in recent days. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, or USGS, a 4.9 trembler, along with other ones, struck Puerto Rico again before 11 o'clock. Fortunately, there was no tsunami threat and no deaths have been reported. However, thousands of residents lost power from the earthquake, interrupting preparations for the Three Kings Day celebration. The earthquake also caused the natural wonder, Playa Ventana, a rock formation, to collapse. Playa Ventana means a window beach because of the window-like shape formed by the rocks. While many Puerto Ricans are saddened by this, many have the destruction of their homes to worry about. Overall, while there may be much destruction, no lives have been lost. A miracle for such a strong natural disaster. This is Clayton Cockfield, GWN, St. Paul's.
Hello and welcome to this week's gaming news. This week we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Steve Dotz. Hello, Mr. Steve Dotz. It's very nice to meet you.
Nick, how are you doing? I'm
Pretty
happy
good.
to be on this show. Give you my own personal opinion on the new games. So, personally, I'm excited for many of the new games coming out this year, such as Cyberpunk 2077 and many more new series. There's also many games of the existing series, such as The Last of Us 2, Dying Light 2, Little Nightmares 2, and many others.
Yeah, I really can't wait to play a game where Keanu Reeves is the other protagonist. Now, let's talk about the new consoles from both Microsoft and Sony. So first we have this PC wannabe new Xbox coming out that looks like a refrigerator. And then you also have the PS5, which literally just looks like a vacuum cleaner. I personally don't like the looks of either of them, but with an undefined price on both of them for how much new stuff they have and how expensive consoles are, I'm predicting $500, maybe $600 on these. One for the Xbox, because the Xbox Series X is predicted to also come with a keyboard and mouse. As for PlayStation, Sony has hinted that a new VR headset will be coming with their new PS5, along with some new exclusives that were revealed at this year's Game Awards. So I'm pricing it a little bit higher at $650 to $700 price range.
Yeah, speaking of the Game Awards, Death Stranding won Game of the Year, beating out other prominent games.
Oh yeah, speaking of the Game Awards, former higher up at Nintendo and also kind of a meme lord, Reggie, could be seen sitting next to the Twitch streamer Ninja, which made me not want to watch this event even more. Besides that, for some reason, Elon Musk walked in and then left 10 minutes later.
Alright, that about ends this week's installment of gaming news. Thanks for having me, Nick.
No problem. It was great to have you. Anyways, this has been your weekly gaming news update. See you guys next time.
On January 3rd through 5th, Wizard World Comic-Con took place in New Orleans. At Comic-Cons, people dress up in costumes that usually represent characters from games, movies, comic books, and more. During the Comic-Con, there were many interesting events, talks, and shows. One such attraction was the Louisiana Ghostbusters, which is a group that makes Ghostbuster cars and gear. Another event held at the Comic-Con was a costume contest for all the people who came dressed in costumes. A third event was a talk from a comic book artist about the art of pareidolia, which is when someone recognizes a pattern in an object that looks like a human's face, even though it isn't. These were a few events from this year's Comic-Con. Have a great day, St. Paul's.
They push, we push. Every once in a while, we push hard enough that the light breaks through the clouds and a world beyond the war glimmers. Behind every gun sight is a human being. We are those people. If history only remembers 1 in 1,000 of us, then that future will be filled with stories of who we were and what we did. But until that day comes, we will stand. We will look death in the eye, and we will fight.